Ice forms rapidly and stretches across immense areas, preserving countless objects, animals, and traces of entire civilizations. The National Snow and Ice Data Center reports that Earth's ice sheets hold approximately 24.5 million cubic kilometers of ice, and these frozen archives are revealing discoveries at a faster rate than ever. From a World War II I fighter plane found beneath 268 feet of ice to ancient mummies preserved for over 5,000 years. We'll explore 15 extraordinary frozen finds that continue to fascinate researchers worldwide. Let's start with a discovery that sounds like something straight out of a thriller movie. In July 1942, worsening weather over the North Atlantic forced 6 P-38 Lightning aircraft and 2 B-17 Flying Fortress bombers to make emergency landings on a Greenland ice field while en route to the United Kingdom. All crew members were rescued, but the aircraft became trapped and was eventually buried beneath 268 feet of ice. After decades of searching, the Greenland Expedition Society located the site in 1992 using ground-penetrating radar. One P-38, later named Glacier Girl, was found in remarkable condition, preserved by the ice. Extracting it required an elaborate operation using hot water and steam to free each section. The plane was transported to Middlesboro, Kentucky, where it underwent an extensive restoration and was returned to flight status. According to the restoration team's report, Glacier Girl has since logged over 100 flight hours, making it one of aviation's most extraordinary recoveries. Today, however, the glacier where it was found is drifting toward the sea, and while another P-38 has been pinpointed via satellite imaging, the location is too hazardous for recovery. Glacier Girl may remain the sole aircraft ever retrieved from this frozen resting place. In 2010, conservationists renovating Ernest Shackleton's hut in Cape Royds, Antarctica, uncovered several crates of Mackinlay's whiskey frozen beneath the floorboards for over a century. Bottled in Scotland in 1898, the whiskey had remained liquid despite sub-zero conditions, with the Antarctic Heritage Trust's report noting that alcohol of this proof stays liquid down to 27 deg. Resisting the urge to taste it, the team transported the bottles to New Zealand. When the Mackinlay brand's owner learned of the find, the bottles were flown to Scotland, where small samples were extracted through the corks for chemical analysis. Since the original recipe had been lost, the data allowed experts to recreate the exact formula, producing a limited run of 50,000 bottles. According to White and McKay's report, sales raised over $3.0 million for polar research and conservation. The original bottles were returned to Shackleton's hut, where they remain, preserved in the place they were left more than a century ago. This next discovery is perhaps one of the most significant archaeological finds of the modern era, and it happened completely by accident. In September 1991, German hikers Helmut and Erika Simon discovered what they thought was a recent crash victim in the Ötzi Alps on the Austria-Italy border. The body turned out to be Ötzi, the oldest natural mummy ever found in Europe, dating between 3,350 and 3,105 BC. According to research in the Journal of Archaeological Science, Ötzi stood 5', was left-handed, wore size 8 shoes, and had brown eyes, dark brown hair, and tanned skin of likely Southern European heritage. He was in poor health, lactose intolerant, plagued by cavities, parasites, and arthritis. Yet he was traveling through dangerous terrain with minimal gear, a backpack, a copper axe, a flint dagger, a bow, arrows, and some food. The most telling clue was an arrowhead on his left shoulder. Forensic analysis revealed he was attacked from behind and below, making this 5,000-year-old case one of history's earliest recorded accidents. In Switzerland's Alps, where ice preserves stories for decades, over 3,400 people have gone missing since 1864, with about 1,200 cases still unsolved. Rescue pilot Gerald Piner, with over 30 years of experience, has often spotted gear and remnants of past climbers on peaks like the Matterhorn, a natural archive of mountaineering history. Retreating glaciers have recently brought some of these stories to light. In 2014, the preserved body of British climber Jonathan Conville, missing since 1979, emerged after 35 years. In 2023, record summer temperatures, 2.3 deg C above the 1,991 to 2020 average, revealed that Japanese climbers Masayuki Kobayashi and Michio Okuwa lost to a 1970 storm while attempting the Matterhorn's north face. Their families, after decades of uncertainty, were finally able to lay them to rest. Glaciologist Dr. Matthias Huss of ETH Zurich explains that glaciers act like slow-moving conveyors, carrying trapped objects from high peaks to lower elevations, sometimes taking a century before releasing them from the ice. In 1999, explorers on Argentina's Lololaco volcano, at 22,110 feet, uncovered a shrine containing the mummified remains of 3 Inca people dating to about 500 years ago. Initially thought to have passed away from exposure, a Journal of Archaeological Science study by the University of Bradford revealed they were victims of capocha, a ritual. Air analysis showed weeks of increasing alcohol and coca leaf consumption. CT scans in 2024 suggested the people were alive when placed in their tombs, losing consciousness quickly from the cold and thin air. Their preservation was extraordinary. Clothing, gold and silver ornaments, and ceramics remained intact. According to bioarchaeologist Dr. Emma Brown, these items indicate they came from noble families and were offered to the mountain gods for blessings on harvests and protection of the empire. Enjoyed the video? Before we continue, don't forget to ring the bell, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. It truly helps me out, and I promise to bring you even more awesome content. Since breaking from Antarctica's Ron ice shelf in May 2021, Iceberg, a 76A, originally 135 km long and 26 km wide, about the size of Rhode Island, has been drifting through the Southern Ocean. Its road defied the typical drift toward warmer waters, instead heading for the Drake Passage, a region notorious for 15-meter waves and fierce currents. These conditions speed up iceberg fracturing and melting, yet also make its movements unpredictable. The International Maritime Organization's bulletin warns that with 90% of an iceberg's mass hidden underwater, a large ice masses like a 76 remain serious navigation hazards. December 2024 imagery shows it breaking apart, with the largest remnant, a 76 billion, still stretching over 80 km. Scientists estimate the complete melt of the original berg will release about 1.2 trillion liters of fresh water into the Southern Ocean, with possible effects on marine ecosystems and circulation patterns. The Mendenhall Glacier in southeastern Alaska, a 13-mile-long river of ice, has been retreating for nearly a century and is now 1.75 miles shorter than in 1929. In 2012, as the ice pulled back, researchers uncovered a preserved forest dated to 2,500 years ago. Tree stumps, logs, and intact root systems, mostly Sitka spruce and western hemlock, were found in their original growth positions, some over 3 feet in diameter. Kathy Connor of the University of Alaska Southeast reports that the wood's growth rings reveal a warm, stable climate with longer growing seasons before the glacier advanced and buried the forest. The rapid advance preserved the trees before decomposition, highlighting how quickly climate conditions can shift. Over 650,000 annual visitors see this rare site, but with the glacier retreating around 200 feet per year. The same warming that reveals the forest also threatens the glacier's survival. Beneath Antarctica's frozen surface, scientists have mapped a 460-kilometer subglacial river winding under 4 massive ice sheets, longer than the River Thames. The Nature Geoscience study, led by Imperial College London, used ice-penetrating radar and satellite gravity data to reveal the river flowing 2 to 4 kilometers below the surface, carrying near freezing water. The discovery is crucial for understanding ice sheet movement. Lead researcher Dr. Martin Siegert found the river acts as a lubricant, enabling glaciers to slide more quickly toward the Weddell Sea. The ice it underlies holds enough water to raise global sea levels by about 4.3 meters if melted, enough to inundate cities like Miami, Venice, and much of Bangladesh. According to the British Antarctic Survey's assessment, warming trends are increasing activity in these hidden systems. More surface meltwater is seeping through cracks to feed subglacial rivers, accelerating ice flow to the ocean. Satellite data shows ice velocities above this river have risen 23% in the past decade. The findings reveal Antarctica as a dynamic, water-driven system, not a static ice mass, one capable of reshaping global coastlines far sooner than expected. At the start of the 20th century, Expeditions to Antarctica pursued ambitious goals, reaching the South Pole, mapping the continent, and claiming territory. But all required shelter to endure the extreme conditions. This led to the construction of exploration huts, many of which still stand as monuments to human endurance. In 2014, the New Zealand Antarctic Heritage Trust began restoring these structures. While working on Captain Robert Falcon Scott's hut at Cape Evans, the team discovered a block of ice containing a box with 22 cellulose nitrate photographic negatives. Preserved for over a century by the Antarctic ice, the fragile film required months of careful conservation to prevent deterioration. After digital restoration, the images were identified as likely from Ernest Shackleton's Ross Sea Party, one of exploration's most harrowing survival stories. The expedition ended in an accident, with the loss of the ship Endurance and 3 crew members. But the photographs offer a rare visual record of Antarctica over 100 years ago. The images reveal pristine ice formations, wildlife, and landscapes now altered by climate change. According to Dr. Lizzie Meek of the Trust, some ice features have vanished entirely, while others have retreated by kilometers. The photographs also depict the team's daily life, equipment, clothing, and survival methods, providing vital historical data on both early exploration and the pace of environmental change. What's the first thought or feeling you have after hearing that photographs frozen in Antarctic ice for over a century were recovered and revealed both the hardships of early explorers and the dramatic changes to the landscape since then? Let us know in the comments below. In 2022, scientists drilled through 500 meters of ice on Antarctica's Larsen Ice Shelf, expecting a sterile environment. Instead, they found a flowing sub-ice river teeming with thousands of small crustaceans. Research published in Current Biology showed these amphipods survive without sunlight, relying on organic matter in the current and microorganisms in the river. Some species, according to genetic analysis, have been isolated for thousands of years, evolving apart from surface relatives. Prompted by satellite images of a crack in the ice, the team, led by Dr. Hugh Griffiths of the British Antarctic Survey, uncovered an entire ecosystem, including phytoplankton thriving with only 1% of sunlight filtering through the ice, caught enough for photosynthesis, as reported in Nature Climate Change. The findings suggest glacier retreat may allow more light beneath the ice, expanding these hidden ecosystems but also threaten them as shelves collapse. Autonomous underwater vehicles also revealed bacterial communities processing methane and other greenhouse gases, hinting at an unknown role in global climate regulation. Antarctica was once a lush, dinosaur-inhabited land. As climate change melts its ice, fossils preserved for tens of millions of years are emerging. In May 2016, researchers uncovered over a ton of fossils on Seymour Island, dating from 71 to 67 million years ago. Published in the Journal of Vertebrate Paleontology, the collection includes marine reptiles, ancient birds, and numerous mosasaurs, marine lizards up to 18 meters long that dominated ancient seas. These fossils date to just before the mass extinction 66 million years ago. Dr. Julia Clark of the University of Texas reported that they revealed how marine ecosystems changed in the final million years before the event. Exceptional preservation in Antarctica's cold, dry climate has kept soft tissue impressions, skin patterns, and even organic compounds. CT scans in 2024 exposed internal bone structures, offering new insights into their growth and biology. The Chilean Antarctic Institute's survey identified 12 more fossil-rich sites that may hold entirely new species. According to the World Meteorological Organization, the Antarctic Peninsula has warmed 3°C in 50 years, accelerating ice melt and exposing more fossils each year, bringing both scientific opportunity and environmental concern. Allan Hills 8401, discovered in Antarctica's Allan Hills ice field in 1984, is a 1.9 kilogram igneous rock from Mars that has fueled decades of scientific debate. NASA's meteorite database reports it formed from magma about 4.5 billion years ago, was ejected from Mars by an asteroid impact 17 million years ago, and landed in Antarctica roughly 13,000 years ago. The real controversy began in 1996 when NASA scientists announced that carbonate formations within the meteorite might be the product of ancient Martian microorganisms. These grains, linked to organic compounds and tiny magnetite and iron sulfide crystals resembling those made by Earth bacteria, seemed at first to offer the first evidence of extraterrestrial life. Over 200 peer-reviewed studies have since examined the rock, as detailed in an astrobiology review. Later research showed the features could form through abiotic water-mineral interactions. Dr. Kathy Thomas Keprata, part of the original team, wrote that while the meteorite holds no evidence of life, it offers critical insight into Mars geology and life-mimicking mineral processes. Now displayed at the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History, it draws over 2 million visitors annually. On November 18, 1946, a C-53 Skytrooper Dakota left Tulln Air Base in Austria for Pisa, carrying Allied officers and families. To avoid forecasted bad weather over the Alps, Captain Ralph Tate Jr. chose a longer route via Munich and Marseilles, but near Innsbruck, the aircraft encountered the very storm they sought to avoid. Disoriented, the crew mistook the Austrian Alps for the French. A sudden downdraft forced Tate to crash land on the Glacier, skidding uphill before stopping just short of a deep crevasse. Of 12 aboard, only one suffered a serious injury. Rescue was hampered by poor radio reception, but after 3 days, a B-17 pilot spotted a survivor's flare. Swiss Alpine troops reached the site and evacuated everyone, an operation that became a model for modern mountain rescues. The C-53 was abandoned on the glacier. In 2012, Canadian hikers found a propeller protruding from the ice, reigniting interest in the crash. As reported by the Swiss Glacier Monitoring Network in 2024, the Glacier has retreated 847 meters since 1946, revealing more wreckage each year. At current rates, the full aircraft may emerge within the next decade. The relationship between humans and winter sports extends much further back in history than most people realize. Archaeological evidence suggests that hunters in Europe and Asia began using primitive skis to chase game across snowy terrain around the end of the last ice age, approximately 11,000 years ago. The oldest known ski, found near Vyazma, Russia, is about 8,000 years old, and Scandinavian finds date to 3,200 BC. In 2014, archaeologists in Norway's Reinheimen National Park uncovered a 1,300-year-old ski emerging from melting ice. In 2021, they found its matching pair just meters away, both exceptionally well preserved. Research by Norway's Glacier Archaeology Program shows the skis, 188 cm long, 18 cm wide, are similar in size to modern cross-country skis. Handmade and slightly different in dimensions, they feature raised footholds, leather straps, and twisted birch bark bindings. Unlike some ancient Scandinavian skis thought to be fur-lined, these have carved furrows for traction, indicating they relied on their wooden surface. The find suggests southern Norway's high mountains were actively traveled in the Iron Age by hunters or travelers equipped for winter survival. Retreating ice has revealed over 4,000 artifacts in 2 decades, including tools, weapons, and clothing, evidence of continuous human presence in these regions. In 2013, a French alpinist crossing a Mont Blanc glacier spotted a weathered metal box marked "Made in India" embedded in the ice. Inside were about 100 gems, sapphires, emeralds, and rubies, still brilliant after decades frozen. French authorities linked them to one of 2 Air India crashes on Mont Blanc, Flight 245 in 1950, which killed 48, or Flight 101 in 1966, which killed 117. Both encountered severe winter weather. The 1950 crash was due to navigation error, while the 1966 accident occurred when the plane flew too low in a storm. With no identifiable owner, insurance records were incomplete and personal effects poorly cataloged. The jewels fell under French treasure law, which splits fines between the discoverer and the landowner, in this case the commune of Chamonix, valued at around $740,000. The climber received about $370,000. These 15 incredible discoveries prove that our planet's ice holds secrets we're only beginning to understand. From 5,000-year-old victims to ecosystems thriving in complete darkness, from World War II aircraft to ancient ritual sites, each find challenges our assumptions about the past and reveals the dynamic nature of our frozen landscapes. What discovery from today's list shocked you the most? Have you ever found anything unusual in ice or snow during your own adventures? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know which type of frozen discovery you'd most like to see scientists uncover next. If you found these stories as fascinating as I do, make sure to subscribe for more incredible discoveries that challenge everything we think we know about our world. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.